I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
We're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at The Legend of Korra, Book 3, Episodes 5, 6, and 7.
You mean 6, 7, and 8.
7, and 8. Yeah, it's fine.
We're the Rambling Reviewers, and this is part of our continuing Korra coverage.
Continuing Korra coverage!
Okay, it's been a little while, work and stuff.
Yes.
We did the ALS challenge.
We have so many people who are just waiting for this review.
Yeah.
That one guy, whoever you are, who listens to us. Thank you. All right.
Yes, Jeff, we know you were waiting. Actually, Jeff is a guy from work. He actually likes us, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Yay, Jeff. All right.
We like you, Jeff.
So, when we last left off, Sith King had revealed to me that we were going to see Sue and Lin solve all their problems through acupuncture.
This was an accurate statement.
Well, it was actually half accurate, because first it was acupuncture, and then it was kicking the crap out of each other. So the second half was a little more violent.
Yeah. Wait, didn't
Acupuncturing.
Su Yin win? And that just pissed me off.
You know what? It's been so. Let me tell you our perspective here. By this point, both of us have actually seen through the whole rest of the season. Normally, we would see the 2 episodes we were going to review, or the 3 episodes, and then go right back to it. But now we're going to be a little more vague today.
Yeah, because it's been a little while.
Yeah. It seemed to me they didn't exactly resolve their differences. It was like, okay, Sue. Or rather, Lin remembers that Sue caused her scar. Sue was a criminal back in the day, and Toph covered it up, and Lin didn't like that. And then they end up fighting in the present day, and then Opal says stop fighting, and they're like, okay, fine, we can be friends. It was a little vague.
Yeah, it was not one of the better episodes, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it was a neat.
It was neat seeing Toph again.
Yeah. It was kind of nice, just to see their backstory a little bit, but it wasn't entirely clear how it all came together by the end.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Let's see.
She got over her issue.
Also, apparently, Zahir and his crew escaped Republic City with a car chase.
You don't remember that?
I remember it a little.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Okay, so yeah, that was 6.
6. This could be a short
the
episode.
Exhaustively researched episode 6, which we watched 100 times at least. It was so complex. If we tried to explain more, it would blow your minds. By which we mean the exact opposite. We don't remember it at all.
It wasn't a whole lot to remember.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Episode 7. This one also felt like filler, kind of.
Which is weird, because by the time we get to the end of this season, I'm gonna say there were some great things in this ending, but it would have been nice if we had more time to breathe and get into depth about certain things. Instead, we got into depth of other things that we didn't care about as much, sort of.
Yeah. Anyways, 7 is all about the Airbenders, because that's what we were so hoping to see.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Don't really, but when there's terrorists who want to destroy the world roaming the countryside,
right there. Yeah.
or fallout from the equalist movement, or the fact that spirits are everywhere, the fact that
never turns into a thing, does it?
No,
never. Yeah.
Yeah, the equalists just all go away, even though they had some pretty good points.
Well, we did change the government between seasons. Now they have an elected president who's a non-bender, so. That's something.
Yeah,
I was talking about how at the beginning of this season, it's, wow, there's spirits everywhere, and there's vines and crap, and the spirits are living among us. And by the end of the season...
nothing really comes of that.
Whatever happened to those vines? And we'll get to this later, I guess. But
Korra never cleans up the vines at all, and we don't see anyone clean up the vines in Republic City.
Yeah.
In fact, we don't even go back to Republic City proper.
Yeah,
the closest we get is Air Temple Island.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And we don't see any of the interesting spirits. It's all like the grasshoppers and bugs and rabbit monsters.
Boom Jew.
Yeah, but it's never any of the other spirits we saw from the other Avatar series.
Oh, I'm hoping he shows up in season 4.
Yeah, we saw, all the spirits we saw in Avatar The Last Airbender were, and I'm putting this as delicately as possible, gigantic dick bags.
I don't remember the painted lady being a dick, was she?
Really?
She showed up at the end just to be like, hey, I exist. That was it.
She also kidnapped Katara.
That might have been a thing.
Yeah, and then there was the panda monster that kidnapped Sokka. Yeah, spirits are dicks in Avatar: The Last Airbender, but here it's like they're trying so hard to say, no, this wasn't a stupid move. See, look at all the peaceful, happy spirits. But you'll notice that the spirits never interact with humans in pretty much any way whatsoever.
They exchanged a few words in like episode 1 or 2. Remember, that was it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, and furthermore, in addition to that, remember that awesome episode with Wan, the first Avatar, and how he lived with the spirits and the spirits talked to him? And we had the creepy lemur dude, who I'm calling King Julian because I used to like the TV show Penguins of Madagascar, and that's the only lemur I can think of.
Okay.
But yeah, King Julian was like, yeah, I'm a nice guy. Oh, pardon me, I'm going to possess you now and horribly mutilate you for the rest of your life. Bye! And never come back. See? This human was just walking in the forest. He could have been doing anything until I stopped him.
It didn't make
Curse
sense.
you! Oh, darn, pitiful human. He had to eat.
It didn't
What
make sense.
evil!
Yeah.
And we never see any of these other spirits. We only see the good spirits. And we know there are evil spirits.
You don't even see the good... Well, we see, like, Boomju. But beyond that, the good spirits themselves are way in the background and off to the side in this season.
Or we just see them, like, flying through the air in establishing shots.
Yeah. So, really, what it should have been is Korra... Well, we said this before, but still. Korra did not merge the spirit and regular worlds, but as a consequence of Unalaq's plan, a weird energy thing happens, and thereby airbenders come back into existence. There you go. You know.
And there's some spirits roaming around somehow.
No, you don't even need the spirit. Just cut the spirits out entirely of Season 3. No spirits in Season 3. That'd be fine. That'd work out great. Except maybe Boomju is nice, but like that was small. That was a very small thing.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man. So original Airbenders. It's all about the Airbenders. Tenzin's having a hard time dealing with those kids today who don't appreciate old-fashioned Airbender styles. Again, Tenzin, this is your biggest weakness. Your inability to change.
Hey, it's just the title of the season. It is. Changes.
Okay, but yeah, he's trying to use Airbender techniques from 170 years ago. From before when they were exterminated the first time. Why is this bad? Well, let's see. In the last 60 years, which is roughly a third of that period of times, 60 years ago, a black man could have been lynched in the street for talking to a white woman. In certain areas.
Okay, yes.
But today, I mean, a black man couldn't even get a drink at a certain type of drinking fountain without being charged with a crime.
Okay.
Today, we have a black president.
Are you attempting to suggest that the old airbending ways are equivalent to segregation and racism?
No, what I'm trying to say is that societies progress and advance. Doing the same thing just because that's how they did it 170 years ago, to people who, live in modern societies, not exactly... You need to think outside the box, dude.
To the writer's credit, that exactly was Tenzin's problem. The show is aware that Tenzin is doing it wrong.
I know.
So
But yeah, so Boomy recommends, hey, let's turn this into boot camp for no goddamn reason.
Well, Boomy recommended it like halfway casually, and then Tenzin runs with it, kind of crazy like.
Yeah. And then Tenzin starts yelling at Boomy because for some reason Boomy's having a hard time. Really, the rookie 70-plus-year-old man is having a hard time keeping up with boot camp.
Yep.
Who could have seen this coming? Oh yeah, also some sky bison are poached by poachers, and Jinora and Kai show up to fight the criminals for reasons.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Again, it was a filler episode, so not a whole lot happened. Which
Yeah.
brings us to episode 8.
The more I look at this, the more I feel like once you get to it's 10 through 13 is like the real meat of the season.
Yeah.
That's when everything starts to matter.
No.
But okay.
8 through 13, really, because that's what we're getting to now. 8, which is where we really start to see how dangerous Zahir and his bad guy and his friends are, because they actually break into Zhaofu, the metal bending city with the stupid pedal things, and no, I am not letting that go.
What is stupid about it? It's a defense mechanism. You like military things.
I like it, but if we had seen a reason why, if there were more of those Shai Halud sandworms running around, they didn't even justify why they had the big pedal things.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more justification too. I'll give you that.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, they broke through that with no problem. Then again, they have a guy who couldn't create.
Yeah. For a while there, I was thinking, well, they have a guy who creates lava, but they also had a traitor on their side. Remember?
Yeah.
The Viceroy or whatever his name was.
Oh no, the second in command was a Starscream.
That was kind of.
Who could have seen this coming?
That actually was kind of interesting when. They break in, and I thought, oh, that's stupid. The writers forgot about the pedal things. And the characters are like, wait a minute, how did they break in when the city was locked down? And I was like, oh, wait, the writers remembered. There's a whole plot here.
And that was actually pretty cool. They use, darts to take out Korra. And you saw, in order to prevent them from being surrounded completely, they made a lake of lava around themselves. And Combustion Lady was firing her explosive blasts everywhere. It was a pretty good fight.
Yeah.
So eventually they have to rappel from the ceiling to take them down, but they don't do it properly because we still have a couple episodes left in the season. So they managed to escape.
Well, yeah, but we do save Korra.
Oh yeah, we saved Korra.
And then for some reason only Bolin can be the one to hit Combustion Lady. It's a little contrived. And there's a whole squad of earthbenders around here. Any one of them could throw a rock at her face. But it's like, Bolin, you have to do it.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, he was a sports star, but I seem to remember him losing in 5 seconds at the beginning of season 2.
Well, when he had no backup, yeah.
Yeah. Second off, I thought metal bending was the more advanced form of earthbending, and thus all of the benders here should be really, really good at it.
Yeah, generally, I don't know. Bolin's more of a main character, so he gets a spotlight moment. There you
go. I wish Garrus was there. Garrus Vicarian from Mass Effect, because he has a sniper rifle.
Yep.
Then again, I wish that for a lot of shows. I was technically saying that. I was actually saying that like the first episode of My Little Pony. The night will last for... Come on, Shepard. At least give me a challenge next time. Oh, come on. That would have made the show better. No, actually, it wouldn't have. My bad. Correct that. But yeah, so they fight and they fight and they fight and they fight.
And then the attack. I like this that oftentimes in stories, whatever, the bad guys rush in, kidnap someone, and we have to go save them. This time the bad guys rush in, they kidnapped Korra, then we saved Korra, then we're going to follow the bad guys because frick you, we're not letting this go unpunished. Which is pretty cool.
Because apparently revenge is a thing that we follow in this universe.
Okay, so are we actually sticking to our plan of stopping at 8?
Oh god, no. We blew through those in like less than 10 minutes.
Alright, so this is us just continuing on with however long we go, possibly to the end. In number 9, the Stakeout.
9, actually, that was the most recent episode. That was the first episode I saw in a while, so I actually just saw it Saturday.
Okay, good for you.
So it's a lot more clear in my mind, so I'll be able to do a lot more analysis. Okay, they follow... And here's where I start really liking the show.
Yeah.
I mean, more so than I like the season already. They go to the Misty Palms Oasis. It's one of those oases with ice in the center. Just like the one they visited before they went to the library in Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh. I did not make that connection. All right.
Yeah, so... Oh my god, actual connections to the past. And they had few pretty good scenes too. Like, the first bar they go into, it seems like a standard bad guy bar. Everyone's glaring at them. And Bolin turns, look, they have a poster for one of my movies. No, Bolin, that's a wanted poster. To which I'm just like, Bolin, why? Why? Why do you make my brain hurt? How do you not know what a wanted poster is? You used to live on the street. Ugh. But yeah, so apparently the Earth Queen is suddenly a problem again, because technically we did kind of kidnap all of the people she was holding against their will.
Right, well, by her, she thinks of the airbenders as her property, so she's pissed off. That makes sense.
Yeah, I know, I was just confused by the wording of the situation. And so they decide to ask around undercover. One of them says, Mako asks the guy, have you seen a guy with this description? Because at this point they know Iway, the second in command, was the
bad guy. Yeah,
they discovered that last episode, but whatever. He said to this guy, yeah, that guy showed up. He said my drinks were horrible. And then he left. He was like, okay, did you see where he went? Yeah. He was right, though. My drinks do stink. And then he walks away. You just felt so bad for the guy in that just one moment.
Yeah, and it makes sense with Iway being the truth detector. He could also be just generic truth teller for no, even when it pisses people off. Or makes them sad.
Okay, so, Korra enters the spirit world in seconds, despite the fact that she needed Janora's help last time? What?
That was, it's a little vague.
Yeah, Korra always did manage to master techniques disproportionately fast. She's also the first metal-bending avatar, because she didn't have enough reasons to make her special. Also, really? Toph never taught Aang metal bending? Really? You're telling me that Toph never at any point decided to teach her best friend, the Avatar, how to bend metal? The thing that she's good at.
I mean, granted, not fire.
Air is the opposite of Earth,
air is
right?
the opposite of Earth, right?
Yeah. But anyway, so Korra goes into the spirit world, and it's actually pretty cool how they do this. They were staking him out, and at first they think they've been caught by bounty hunters who are carrying a poster of Bolin's face. It's actually a movie poster. They're just big fans. Mildly creepy, but very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get this spot next to Iway's room, and they're watching him to see when he goes to meet with Zahir and his cronies. Mm-hmm. And while they wait, Bolin plays Pai Sho with Asami and loses horribly because this is Bolin.
Yeah, that always happens to him.
And the instant he's about to win, the table gets knocked over and he loses anyways. Because Bolin exists to suffer. But so they see him and they realize, hey, wait a minute. He's not going to a meeting in the real world. He's going to a meeting in the spirit world.
That was a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So they bust in, and he's just meditating on the bed. And Korra goes in. Mm-hmm. Zahir basically goes, yeah, you fucked up big time, dude. We didn't get the Avatar, so we're cutting you out of the operation. Grabs Iway's spirit and throws it into that...
The fog of lost souls.
Which... on one hand, is pretty cool that they remembered something from the last season. You know, I'm always a big fan of when continuity comes into play. On the other hand, you know, the Avatar and Janora didn't try to get together and grab a whole bunch of people out of there. That wasn't the thing.
They did that before. What does that have to do with right now? The fog is still there.
Yeah. Should it be there, though? Shouldn't they, the Avatar stop that? Maybe set up an actual prison instead of Realm of Eternal Nightmares? Something that would,
I don't know how
follow the Geneva Conventions?
You were talking about how all spirits are dicks. Good luck setting up a reasonable prison in your spirit world.
Yeah, see, this is why you need to cut off access to the spirit world entirely.
Wait. Didn't we merge the spirit and real worlds? Wasn't that supposed to be the deal that they would be one world, and now we are going to the spirit world like nothing happened?
I never got that, honestly.
So apparently it's not we actually merged the worlds, but rather we opened up immigration between the worlds, which is exclusively one way, apparently, because there are no humans living in the spirit world. But there are spirits living in the human world.
Yeah. Spirits are dicks. But we're not going to get into Governor Northern Water Tribe Chief Rick Perry's plan to build a border fence along the spirit portal.
That would be weird.
Political humor.
Yeah.
So then Zahir somehow manages to teleport around a bit, and he finally tells Korra his evil plan.
Which is actually really neat.
You start explaining it. I need water.
Okay.
You want water?
No, it's fine.
Okay, I need water.
I understand that from 1 second ago. Alright. So Korra gives him the basic, alright, tell me what you're up to. And he's like, very well. I will tell you what I'm up to. And you're like, wait, what? The villain normally doesn't do that. Like,
are you kidding? Villains do that all the time.
No, not when people freaking ask them. They do it when the hero's in chains or something and they have to lord it over with them before they die. But it's not just like, let me tell you in simple, calm tones what I'm up to, so you know. And you suddenly realize you've been following this, where we suddenly, the name of them now is the Red Lotus. We've been following the Red Lotus group this whole time. And we thought of them as kind of generic bad guys who were just doing bad things in an awesome way with their martial arts moves, but whatever, they're just bad. And then it's like, no, wait, they have a philosophy. They have like a freaking reason why they're doing this.
And it's not too hard to sympathize with some of the things that they're saying. The best extremist bad guys are ones where you can follow their philosophy up to a certain point before they go, yeah, then we sacrifice the puppies.
That's always a problem.
Okay, so their philosophy is something that we've actually pointed out on this show. The White Lotus was meant to be an organization of spiritual growth, but they don't do that anymore because they've apparently become a group of bodyguards for the Avatar who serve corrupt government leaders.
Wait, they didn't directly serve any corrupt government leaders. The Dai Li served the Earth Queen, not like the
Okay,
White
yeah,
Lotus.
but I'm just saying what he said.
Oh, okay.
And, well, I kind of admit they have a point. The White Lotus used to be this, like, group of people who were knowledge and truth seekers that happen to have powerful people, because in this universe, spiritual growth apparently equals badass growth.
Pretty much.
But, yeah, once you got to Legend of Korra, they were actually serving in the real world. They weren't, like, secret anymore.
Yeah. Maybe they felt they were revealed or something. But more to the point, Zahir points out that the Earth Queen sucks, and we should get rid of her. And you're like, hey, wait, she
the
does
president
suck.
of Republic City.
He also mentions the president, who is less of not as strong of a case. But whatever. This is one of those places, imagine if we'd taken, like, at least half the stuff of those filler episodes, got rid of it, and used that space to talk about corruption in government, right? To have more evil plots going on, and you can never really be sure who to trust and whatever. And you would have given more depth to Zahir's statements, which had some basis, but give it even more basis to, no, government is evil. We need anarchy. We need the natural order, which is disorder, which is actually how nature works. It doesn't have kings or queens, so that kind of makes sense in a twisted way, right?
Yeah. But it's also where I just had to stop and go, you're a fucking idiot, Zahir, because this is where I dropped the line. Look, no kings and queens is a great philosophy. The problem is that human nature will always seek to dominate and conquer, or to try to gain advantages. That's our legacy of the jungle. We will try to seek ways to control other things and to gather more resources so we can survive. That's why pure communism is technically impossible in the real world. Anytime anyone's tried to implement it, it hasn't worked. They tried doing it with Russia, but then members of the party got greedy, stood up, and started doing bad shit. Or I could be completely talking out of my ass.
No, I mean, yeah, we're gonna get into the more complexities of what happens as a automatic result of a communist idea versus what happened in Russia and China recently. And someone's gonna argue, well, in a different society, blah blah blue. But what you're saying though is, and this is, in this case at least, if you say killed the Earth Queen, you'd have violence in the streets and everything would be on fire. And guess what happens?
That exact thing.
Now, that might be interesting to see how Zahir reacted to that, because we never did find out how he felt about it. And we could have had him feeling like, what the hell, you were supposed to form this utopia automatically? Or you could have had him say, yes, the fire will burn for a while, but within a few years, we shall see the new world be born. You know what I mean?
All 6 of the survivors.
All 6 of them. And they'll form the Power Rangers. And I don't know.
No. That is Sonic, dude. No.
What? I just happened to be 6 of the original Power Rangers.
There'd have to be 8 because you obviously have to include Zordon and Alpha 5.
Oh.
Hello.
Right.
Hello, Megan. We're going to be covering that too.
Yeah, good show.
Young Justice, not Hello, Megan.
No, not especially.
Especially since the only episode we saw was like 8 seconds
okay.
long.
Right. So. No one understands what we're talking about anymore.
Young Justice. Good show. First season, at least. I don't never see the second season.
Boo,
now I'm talking like Morton Solus.
So, as he's as he's explaining his philosophy to Korra, he's also distracting her so they can be kidnapped, so she can be kidnapped, which I think was a great double purpose on his part.
Yeah, it was great. It showed how he had more spiritual potential than Korra because he's able to like go, "Hey, she's over here. Go get her."
He can say that in the real world while he's meditating in the spirit world. So that was cool. And then so there's all this fighting, and Korra and Asami get captured right at the end.
But it's pretty interesting how they get captured because they're running away from the fight in order to get away from these guys. Suddenly they're trapped by big stone walls. Korra wakes up and she's chained down like
Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly like Hannibal Lecter.
But and it's like, oh no, the Red Lotus captured us. Who's the Red Lotus? We were captured by the Earth Queen. It's like, oh right, those
she
guys.
hates us too. All right, interesting. So that takes us to episode 10. Long live the Queen. So Korra and Asami are on an airship being sent to the Queen's presence, and they crash. They escape first, and then as they're trying to escape, they crash the whole ship. And then the whole crew is remarkably cooperative with them. I thought, like, I get it. You're stranded in the middle of nowhere. You need to work together to survive.
Plus, the whole Shai Hulud thing.
I know, but like
Anyone who doesn't know, Shai Hulud is the name of the sandworm from Dune. Shai Hulud, he who's passing cleanses the world.
Yes, he is the ultimate janitor of the sci-fi. I'm just kidding.
No, but he's a giant sandworm, and they get attacked by a giant sandworm.
Sandfish, actually.
Yeah, whatever.
Yes, worms and fishes, they are the same. But yeah, even just the expressions on the people's faces, like, well, you did crash our entire ship and possibly doom us all to dying in the desert, but yeah, whatever. We're okay with that. It was a little weird.
Well, they openly stated, yeah, all we have to do is wait here because this is an extremely well-traveled route, and you're an important piece of cargo, so they're going to be sending people to look for us.
But even then, you'd be on guard because you'd be afraid the prisoner is about to knock you out or do something terrible to you. She's your prisoner. Like, quick, somebody grab her, put her in chains.
I don't think they remembered that she was the Avatar. That's the only explanation that makes sense, because you would expect the prisoner to be cooperative in the middle of the desert because they have no other way out of the desert. Because, and this might be a hard concept, it's a fucking desert. You are roughly 1,000 miles from water.
Yeah. By the way, when they were getting chained up, the background art kept changing. Is Korra is in the Hannibal Lecter suit, and Asami's like, oh, do you have to change me to the floor? Chain me to that thing on the wall. But as she's being chained to the floor, there is nothing on the wall. And then she looks back and there's something on the wall. And then once she's chained there, the thing on the floor doesn't exist anymore. And clearly the artists were not talking to each other. It's like, hey.
Asami is a god.
Yeah.
Oh, this explains where all the money for future industries came from.
Right. That's why she doesn't need a staff. They all show up.
Asami wills it, and it happens. The accounting papers need to be done. Thus she willed it, and so it shall be.
So the Red Lotus goes to Ba Sing Se to say to the Queen, give us the Avatar so that no one knows you had her. And
No. They give them the guys they did capture, Mako and Bolin. They capture those guys.
Right.
And they say, hey, if you keep them here, the Avatar will come to you. we'd like to be here because we'd like to kick the crap out of her.
And they said we'll tell you the location of the air nomads, didn't they? The new air people? Right, because she wants those back.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, how many places are there to look when there are only 4 air temples?
Yeah, dude.
Maybe we should send someone to the northern. After we tried the southern, western, and eastern, it shouldn't be that hard. But I guess she assumed they were hiding in a less conspicuous spot. Or she was just busy, I don't know.
She did not give me the impression of a mental giant there.
Yeah, that's true. But I did like the bad guys negotiating with each other. You know, they have something to do besides directly attacking the hero all the time.
Yeah,
nice.
It's a nice little touch.
Yeah. So then, when that doesn't plan out, because they eavesdrop on the message of, oh, the airship crashed, Zahir just says, I'm gonna kill you now. And he does!
Yeah, dude. It's like kind of the most disturbing thing I've seen in this show.
It was a cool moment.
Aside from the second season of the show.
Aside from the incredible Deus Ex Machina. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Did you know you can get Godzilla powers? I think there should be an ad. Did you want Godzilla powers? Meditate at this tree. It gives Godzilla powers to everyone.
But, yeah, so anyways. They kill her by the Zahir ripping all the air out of her lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they showed this on screen.
They do. And then for some reason they can't talk about it. I found this so funny. It's the old never say die trope.
Yeah.
They cannot actually use the words death, dead, kill, murder, assassinate. Every single time someone talks about the queen, it's they toppled the Earth Queen or they got rid of the Earth Queen.
Which is weird because, all the characters back in Last Airbender were telling Aang, off Ozai. Just kill him.
Yeah.
End him.
And later on, actually, Korra says, you killed my father. She does use the word kill, but we can't use it with the Earth Queen, apparently.
We can't use the word kill when someone's actually been killed.
Apparently, yeah. The closest they got was, the Earth Queen's reign came to an end today in a violent event or something. Like, close enough, but not... whatever. But she died. That was cool. And then there was anarchy.
The Red Lotus murdered the fuck out of the Earth Queen.
And then, yes. and then Lava Bender takes down the wall. What a great, just set piece to blow up, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, it took the Dragon of the West, one of the most powerful benders in the entirety of the franchise, 3 years, and he never was able to take it down without the help of the comet.
Yeah, but there was a whole frigging army against him. This was Lava Bender versus the wall.
He also had an army with him.
Army versus army, maybe it balances out. I don't know. And besides, maybe they didn't have Lava Benders around then.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
That just felt a little on the cheap side. I like the imagery of the walls coming down, but I thought it could have been handled a little better. Maybe it was at an obvious gate or something where the walls are designed to move a lot.
Huh. That could be interesting. Anyway, so chaos, and then we had to go save Grandma, who was all, I'm not leaving. And Bolin's like, Grandma, we have learned that your family is anywhere or your home is where your family is. And she looks at him with this sentimental expression. I'm still not leaving. Okay, he's picking her up now.
And somehow Mako and Bolin learn how to fly an airship in a few seconds.
Yeah, that was a little vague.
Yeah, I liked the scene before that. It was pretty funny. They try to commandeer an airship. Mako goes, I need to commandeer this airship. I am a member of the guard. The police, the Republic City Police Force. First off, why the hell? You were in a foreign nation. What the hell makes you think that you have any authority here whatsoever?
Well, he did mention helping the Avatar, who is...
Yeah, everyone looks at him for a second and a half before going back to looting everything that's not nailed down or on fire. No, they weren't looting things that were nailed down.
Yep.
They just weren't looting the things that were on fire.
Yeah.
So Bolin goes, bro, it's okay. I got this. And I'm just expecting him to put on a puppet show to try to distract them while Mako does the actual work. But no, Bolin actually is pretty helpful here. He goes, the Earth Queen's gold is on the second floor, third door from the right. And everyone runs out because they want some of that nice, sweet Earth Queen gold. It's like, oh, he was helpful. What new spore of madness is this?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So then they find Korra. I like that there's no wind in the desert because they can still follow the tracks on that sand sailor they
Yeah,
invented.
I'm so glad that Shai Hulud doesn't at all disrupt the sand.
Yeah, what's up with that? Then they all meet together, and there's several scenes from this point on where it only lasts like a minute or two, but there's like the everyone regroup and tell each other things that the audience already knows scene, which to some extent makes sense in context because the characters don't know and they have to inform each other.
Like the message that Mako and Bolin have, that that's the Red Lotus is going up to the Northern Air Temple, and they're going to stomp a new mud hole in the Airbenders. So they need to tell Korra that, and they in turn need to tell Mako and Bolin what's been going on.
Right, but even so, it was a little like, I'm waiting here for the plot to... Like, at that moment, it's okay, but later on, we're more in the thick of things, and, like, someone's dying off screen. Can we run over there now, please? Like, just a little bit of too slow. But, okay. So, yeah, they deliver that message, and holy crap, now we need to deal with that.
So they call up Tenzin, and they're like, yeah, we need to go up there and save you. Evacuate, please, so we don't have to. And they manage to call just as Zahir is pulling into the station.
I know.
Like, no one saw this coming. You're airbenders. You'd think that the airbenders would have a greater mind towards security, considering that they were nearly made extinct like 170 years ago.
Though granted, we just saw how they don't do so well in boot camp, so what's he got to work with, right?
Say, here, sit here, and if anyone tries coming, yell incoherently.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That's basically a guard. That's all that guards do.
Yeah, a little bit. Alright, so Zahir shows up, and then the airbenders freaking resist. This was nice.
Yeah, they actually fought back.
Especially Tenzin.
Tenzin was a badass, man. He was a determinator. He took on 3 of the Red Lotus members at once, and he refused to stay down until they did that stupid, cliched, oh, we're showing him from far away so that you don't have to assume that they beat him up, even though we can see flame and water moving towards him. And moving behind a thing as he starts screaming.
The beating discretion
Dude,
shot.
we already saw him getting his ass handed to him. Yeah. And he just kept getting up. I mean, only once he fell down on the ground and was unconscious did you think, hey, maybe now we can start showing discretionary shots to preserve the dignity of his kidneys.
I don't know. But I thought it was cool that he fought so well because he's been a teacher this whole time. It's like, hey, he's an airbending master. This would make sense. He's a badass. And I also like that there's a martial arts thing where there's a 3-on-1 and the one guy actually loses. Because that never happens in martial arts shows. It's it's the conservation of ninjutsu. The one badass beats everybody, right? Mm-hmm. And I like to see him like try hard, but then he failed. And then in the meantime, they were like, okay, we're gonna go try and escape with the skybeist over here. No, Combustion Lady is freaking shooting us with artillery laser bolts.
Artillery sniper lasers.
Yeah. And then Kai tries to distract her, and then he seems to get blown out of the sky. And he's not dead, but like whatever. Okay, interesting enough. And then Boomy and Kaya are doing their own thing. Like, we were really trying. It wasn't like damsel in distress. Oh, they've all been captured off screen. Never mind. Which would have been so boring and dumb. Right? So this was cool. So then episode 12 we're now, Enter the Void. Korra is on her way. They discuss strategy. I like how they actually had a couple of good strategies and a couple of reasons why that wouldn't work. Well, coming on airships, no, they'll just shoot us with Combustion Lady. Well, we'll scale the mountain. They'll melt the side of the mountain with the lava bender. Okay, what can we do? And then she says, I'll turn myself in, but she's all intelligent about it.
Yeah, so, we'll have radios with us so that in case they try to pull the old switcheroo, then, we'll know, hey, don't do this.
Hey, and I'll have metal benders on the side of the mountain to help bail me out.
And before that, we actually had a really, really good scene with Zahir and Plea?
I thought it was P. I thought it was like P''Ly, but I don't really know.
Combustion Lady.
Combustion Lady. I was right.
Yeah, earlier they said that they were in a relationship, and they showed it.
But yeah, they exchange a tender kiss in a moment, and she goes, "I'm so glad you rescued me from my life where I would have been a thrall of that warlord." And he says, "I am willing to grant everyone the freedom, and soon everyone will have perfect freedom." Thank you. You know, it would have been nice to have seen her backstory. You know, maybe find out how she got the cool tattoo. You know, the coolest power of bending ever in the show. The ability to shoot missiles out of your forehead. But no, we're just going to say you were once, like, in the thrall of a warlord.
It was still a neat moment. Even just to imagining
what
it would have been, yeah.
I'm not saying that it was a bad moment. I openly stated it was a really good moment. Tender characterization and stuff.
But just, it could have used some more backstory, some more foundation there, some more exploration. So then they have the hostages are all fake. Well, it was neat because I thought it was real at first, and then I saw they're all wearing cloaks, and I was like, "Wait, they're all in hoods." Wait, and then it was freaking Waterbender lady with 100 arms.
Waterbender lady who made these like lumps of water, into that filled the bodies, and then they all drained back, and they reformed into her arms.
Yeah,
and she had been in the robes the whole time too, maintaining this.
Yeah.
Although I'm really not sure how she's bending without moving her arms or whatever.
Well, she's been doing that the whole show, so run with it.
Yeah,
He moves her shoulders or something. So, yeah, that was cool. The whole thing goes south, and we're fighting, and there's still little bits of dialogue, like, Plea says to Zahir at one point, "Get the Avatar into the airship. I'll hold them off." And in real life, you would have just said, "Get her in the ship!" Like, don't waste syllables in a combat situation, right? It's like the writers kind of felt they had to be really obvious about things in case we didn't understand.
Or just, hey, get her in the ship. Just say,
"Go now." Yeah.
Go! And while, firing a bunch of random blasts from your forehead. That's generally assumed, providing covering fire, not shooting random explosions from your forehead. As a means of saying, I will cover your retreat.
Right. You don't need, polish up that dialogue a bit, please.
That and nice. Then the second horribly gruesome death on the show happens.
Wow. What a death.
Okay, now it's assumed generally that Combustion Man died. Because he, Sokka smacked his third eye with his boomerang, and then, he exploded. Okay, Lin runs out trying to distract Combustion Lady, throwing rocks and metal bending stuff at her, and distracting her in general. Suyin grabs a metal plate, throws it at Combustion Lady, bending it into a form-fitting shield around her head, and you can just see it glow all of a sudden, and you never see what happens next.
She apparently blows her head off.
No, she blows her head up.
Well, yeah, that too.
She just reduced her head to chunky salsa in a metal jar.
Yeah.
And it's like, I watched it over again and I was like, what the hell? She's dead?
Yeah, we're really doing stuff in this finale.
And Zahir's like, oh my god. No, heck was Zahir. I was like that. Oh my god.
Well, and then Zahir is got Korra, and he's backs up to the edge of the cliff, and he says, "Enter the void." He's quoting this poem from before, and he mentions, "I've renounced all my earthly desires." Which is just like when Aang was told to renounce his love for Katara.
I was the one who said that, yeah.
Yeah.
And technically when Korra did it in the tree, but that's instant plot convenience fairy thing.
No, nobody cares about that tree. But this time it was...
Except for Groot.
Yes, well...
it was in Playtree. He has that magazine.
Okay. But this time, his girlfriend has just died... And he takes it in this spiritual way that actually gives him greater superpowers because he has renounced all earthly desires.
And so he's suddenly able to fly like fucking Superman.
That was cool.
It was.
Yeah.
It was just like, what? What? It's not even like, he's not like firing off a tornado of wind behind him. It's just him floating in midair because fuck you, gravity.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like when Aang said that back in Last Airbender. Are you kidding? I laugh at gravity all the time. Ha! Gravity. He's not using a glider. He's not using any special gadgets. He's just flying.
And the thing is, it works. Like, when Korra goes Godzilla mode at the end of episode 2, we were all like, what? Season 2. That was like, what the heck? This is stupid Deus Ex Machina. But this, it totally fits with his spiritual style, his poem he's been quoting, the guy he's been reading from since he first appeared. He was quoting that guy.
And plus,
his Pali just died.
And flight is really a quite understandable power for an airbender to eventually have.
Right, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Is this like the final form of airbending? Like, just total isolation from the ground? It would explain their devotion to the concepts of letting everything go.
Yeah.
Like metal bending is for earth bending, or lightning bending for
fire bending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's cool.
But so, and while they're doing this, Bolin and Mako and Asami are trying to rescue Tenzin, who keeps demanding pictures of Spider-Man, and he's going to fire Miss Brandt.
Yeah.
I would have loved if he at one point during the escape, he just snaps up and yells at Asami, "Miss Brandt, I want my coffee in here in 5 minutes or you're fired!" And then just slumps down and just no one comments on this. That would have just made my freaking day right there.
Yeah.
But so anyways, so they're trying to outrun lava, which, if you know anything about geology, is bullshit.
How fast does lava go?
Very fucking slowly.
So that's not bullshit then. It's easy to outrun lava.
Yeah. But they weren't able to outrun it. They kept going, oh, it's moving so fast behind us. No, it isn't. The only possible way that works is if there are lava tubes built into the place, or it's so hot that it would be vaporizing your flesh before it came close.
Yeah. Convection, schmunvection.
Yeah. And one of the best turns of the episode, it's revealed that Bolin isn't a metal bender. He's a magma bender.
Yeah. Which was so neat because they spent so long with like, Bolin, I know this is your time. You can metal bend. The whole prison was chanting for him and he couldn't do it at all. And I was like, thank you for subverting my expectations there.
Yes.
And then he gets to do something else, which is cool. But he didn't expect it, but it makes sense when it happens.
Yeah, but it makes sense for a whole bunch of reasons. Like, for example, back in Last Airbender, they said that metal bending is based on stillness, watching, listening. I mean, granted, that doesn't super fit in with the shit we've seen metal benders do in this series, but you know, you get the sense that you need to be patient in order to do that. Maybe that's why they make such good cops. Yeah.
Someone out there is going, wait a minute, that cop who pulled me over last night was not patient at all. Okay, whatever. Moving on.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Republic City cops. Whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, so Bolin is like a hyperactive child. Hyperactive man-child with absolutely no redeeming features, and I'm going on.
Okay.
But yeah, he's like a hyperactive child. He wouldn't be capable of the stillness required for metal bending. What he would be is the ability to like give energy to the ground and charge it up to be lava. Because that's the only way I can think of. He either hyper-compresses it so that it becomes molten, or he just injects his own energy into the ground to make it lava.
Yeah. And then it works. That was cool.
Even further, we know that both Mako and Bolin are from a mixed family. I think Mako's father was from the Earth King.
You know, I forget.
Okay, one of them was a firebender, and one of them was like from the Earth Kingdom. So that's why, you know, even though they're brothers, they have different bending styles. Well, that probably means that Bolin also has genes for firebending. So a heat-based earthbending style?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you know? It's like the writers actually thought about this stuff a little bit.
Of course, that doesn't explain why Mako is capable of lightning bending, but...
Well, yeah. Firebenders in general can lightning bend. But that was remarkably easy for them, wasn't it, in Season 1? And then they ignored it entirely until right at the end, when suddenly it matters.
Oh, yeah! He can do that!
But it worked in this book, because it was so clever, and you're like, oh, wait, lightning does... You know, electricity is conducted by water. So like,
but we're not at that
We're not
part
at that
yet.
point yet. Yeah.
So they get out and it's revealed that Korra was captured and they've chained her up in this cave full of crystals, just like the ancient crystal catacombs beneath Ba Sing Se back in season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
And they revealed their ultimate plan. Originally, they had been going to train Korra when they tried to kidnap her when she was a baby. They were going to train her into their own version of the Avatar. Although, as some people have pointed out, how the hell would they have trained her in airbending since there was only like 5 airbenders on the planet, and all of them were dedicated to the cause of the Avatar. I don't know. I don't care.
I don't even remember quite what they said the original plan was. But the new plan,
is to destroy the Avatar once and for all. Not Korra, the Avatar spirit. They were taking this plot point from way back in The Last Airbender. If you kill the Avatar in the Avatar state, the cycle is broken forever.
The Avatar does not reincarnate. Which, by the way, Korra used to access the Avatar state on a whim, and then stopped doing that. And I feel like the writers just like, wow, that was a stupid idea. We'll just pretend that never happened. But then you said that, well, okay, maybe it's because she went through a lot of crap by the end of season 2 there in Godzilla mode and all this, and Brava getting stomped on. So maybe that's why she doesn't do the Avatar state.
Because
if so, I would have liked them to say so, you know?
Yeah. So what they're going to do is they're going to put this poison on her arms and legs and force it into her body. I would have shoved it down her throat, but that's just...
Yeah, probably the executive probably said that looked too, gross or something for a kid's show.
Yeah. Or just drowned her in the thing.
Maybe they don't have a whole tub of it.
Well, anyways, what's strange about this poison is that they manipulate it using what looks like water bending, and yet it's like mercury or something. A metal, which they confirm because it's able to be affected by metal benders later.
Yeah, maybe it straddles the line somehow.
I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, and they start injecting it into her, saying, okay, the poison won't kill you. However, it will force you to go into the Avatar state, so that once you get in that state, we're going to kill you then because you'll be weakened.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I think some of the people in the cavern, there are some other members of the Red Lotus as well, and you'd think at some point they'd go, boss, this whole plan about pissing off the most powerful creature on the planet who's capable of stomping us into, super thin layers of carbon, maybe we should rethink this whole plan.
Though it actually worked, didn't it? I mean,
it does work.
Yeah. And they were planning on having police still alive who would have just shot her in the face.
Yeah.
As soon as the eye, like her eyes go blue and then just loses that eye. Oh, crap.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, anyways, this not surprisingly, turns out very bad for all of the Order of the Red Lotus people.
Yeah, well, a large part because all these people rush to the rescue, And then Mako's fighting Water Lady, and
Mako fights the Water Lady, and he flash fries the bitch with lightning.
Which is so cool.
To which, I have to wonder, I mean, you fought her before, you had lightning then,
see,
why didn't you do this?
This is what happens when they're trying to build on a shaky foundation. The first 2 seasons weren't so good. It should have been lightning bending was never a casual thing, and this is something he's worked on and could never really master it, and then pulls off that mastery, in the clutch, right? In the moment when he really needs it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be it. But whatever. It's a neat idea, and you're like, oh, I didn't think of that, but that makes sense. You could zap lightning or into water.
Yeah, so, now Bolin is fighting Lava Guy, which I still say is the coolest power introduced in this season.
Yeah.
And Lava Guy goes, ha, well, I have lava. And Bolin goes, oh, so do I. Lava Guy goes, oh, cool. And then he just keeps on trying to kill him. Then he finds out that No Arm Lady was killed, and he decides to commit suicide by melting the entire place and bringing it down around them, which Bolin and Mako naturally survive.
Yeah, should have thought that through.
Zahir
has an awesome air battle with
Yeah,
Korra.
he has a pretty awesome
Really
air battle.
flying around there. I
And
like
Korra's using the Avatar state, and she's flying like Iron Man.
that.
No, I'm serious. She has like fire sprouting from her hands and feet. It's super cool.
Yeah. And she gets like ice on his leg at one point, and he has to like punch it off. You know, it's neat watching people fight with this sort of asymmetry about it. You know, because both people have to come up with their own weird techniques to counter the other one, as opposed to a lot of times in martial arts films, the two people seem to be really evenly matched and using the same style, and it's just like, you know, punch block, punch block, punch block, block, but you know, back and forth a bunch.
Yeah.
This was like much more interesting to look at.
Mm-hmm. And then Korra starts losing because, you know, she still kind of has a ton of
There's
poison
a
in her body.
I love that, because if in the previous incarnation of these writers, it would have been the poison puts her in the Avatar state, and then we forget the poison exists at all, and then they're like, no, she's still poisoned. She starts falling over, and then freaking all the Airbenders save her with a tornado.
Yeah, they
cool is
suck
that?
him into the ground, suck him down to the ground. The Earthbenders bend him into a little wall, and Bolin shoves a sock in his mouth. I would have, you know, killed him, but, you know, whatever. And then, like, we fast forward to 2 weeks later. Korra's still in a wheelchair, and she looks like shit.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, they extracted the poison, like we mentioned before.
Oh yeah, they
But
extracted the poison using metal bending. So
she's
whatever.
in a wheelchair 2 weeks later, and not just is she in the wheelchair, but her expressions is what really seals it. She looks pained and sort of sad, and is happy here and there, like for a certain, you know, particular reason, but in general is suffering, and stays that way. She doesn't get cured right at the end. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you.
Consequences. Thank you for having some.
I mean, because it's such a plot, you know, setting for character development. We were so pissed at the end of season 1 where she lost her powers and it was going to be all cool, and then she just gained them all back, Deus Ex Machina. And now it's, okay, you guys hated that ending? Let us give you the reverse. Now she's kind of disabled and stays that way. And she's going to have to deal with that in probably the main arc of season 4. And isn't that cool? And in the meantime, the Air Nation in general becomes the new Avatar, like in proxy. They're going to roam about the world now and try and fix things. The Earth Kingdom is still in flames. Some of the Red Lotus members are still out there. Stuff is still happening. We saved the world, but it's not all tied up in a neat little bow.
I'm actually excited to see season 4.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
I was looking at the screen like, where were you hiding all this writing talent from the first 2 seasons?
Oh.
It was... This is a really nice finale. There's so many cool moments. Everyone got to have their bit. Janora did a thing with the astral protection. Kai had redeemed himself. We actually noted on that a little. He used to be a dick, but now you've saved our lives. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Korra actually suffered, and that makes Zahir into a cooler villain. Really, that he actually hurt Korra in a way that.
You know what's really cool about Zahir?
Yeah.
Korra didn't beat him.
Yeah, everyone else beat him.
But she lost.
I mean, she helped. She did help out, certainly. She grabbed him with that chain near the end. But, yeah, it's... you were complaining earlier about Korra being, like, you know, too special and a bit of Mary Sue, but, like, she actually really got hurt here. Zahir, in the meantime, had a freaking philosophy behind it all. I would have liked to see more of the sort of countering Zahir on that philosophy level. Some little speech somewhere about, you know, anarchy is great. No, there's a reason why we have order. And sometimes, this should be the thing, right? Sometimes there is need for change, but not the way you're doing it, right? Something along those lines. Because there was change even just creating the Republic, right? That the whole, the comic called The Promise got into that big. And other changes have happened along the way. And perhaps, you know, there's some alternative rebellion movement in the Earth Kingdom that we could have touched on. Somebody who's wants to depose the queen in a non-violent way and set up like a, you know, democracy of some kind, just to meet those people and have like a counterpoint to, no, frick it, just straight up anarchy. That's all we need. It would have been a neat little debate. You could be like, no, well, you could get rid of the queen, but we'll have democracy. And Zahir be like, democracy is only an illusion. It's just another system of control. The only pure freedom is chaos. You know, we could have had a cool discussion somewhere. Not during the fight, obviously, but like previously sometime. Just general breathing room for all this stuff. There are episodes we look back on and we say that was kind of filler. Who cares? But it came together in the end. And it was cool even from the beginning. We were standing around like, this is surprisingly good.
What the hell?
What did they do? So, yeah.
Yeah, that was the finale of season 3 of Korra. We're honestly looking forward to season 4.
I know. How's she going to recover?
If they make it, Nick's being...
Supposedly, Nick is on board with season 4. They'll just do it as a digital broadcast and not, cable. So we'll just see it. It's even more convenient than cable. I just go to their website. There it is. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, improved a lot of stuff there. Oh, we gotta figure out who. This will probably show up in season 4. Who is that one metalbender captain? Who
Kuvaira.
Yeah, they totally make a point of telling us her name and some music plays, and we're all like, "Who are you?" Is that
Korra's future gay lover?
Oh my gosh!
Dun dun dun!
There's a real. Now I know why I never really got along with Mako. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, maybe they'll follow up on that. And yeah, there's not a lot to complain about these last few episodes.
Yeah, what the hell? We used to go on hours-long rants about.
This used to be like shooting fish in a barrel.
So there is no barrels. It's just a fish. It's just a fish on the ground. And you have a gun and you just shoot the fish.
Something like that. So congrats. It goes to show that shows can grow the beard, as they say. They can get better even if they start off shaky.
Well, TNG itself was the origin of the sort of name, Grow the Beard.
Yeah. Wow, we're going to have 7 seasons of Korra now.
No!
Probably not.
Oh, thank God.
I'm guessing they'll just stop at 4. 4 seasons is quite a bit. But I guess that's all we had to say.
Yeah. We might say more later, but we're good now.
I was surprised that's what's his name? Varric's magnet suit was not a Chekhov's gun. That was kind of nice that they brought it up and then didn't use it. You're like, oh, I thought he was going to save the world with that at the end somehow.
Darn, I would have loved that. Like, none of the others can help. Varric comes in with the magnet suit. Don't worry. I'm about to... Julie, do the... No. I'm going to do the thing. And then using his magnet suit, he beats the hell out of Zahir.
There was that great comic that you sent me that summarizes everything, where it's Varric watching the end of season 3 on the computer or something, and he just stares at it. The last shot where Korra is crying, and we cut to credits, and he says, Julie, do the thing. And this banner drops down that says, congratulations! It's
finally as good as Avatar!
Yeah, pretty much. Alright, congratulations, you guys. That's about all I have to say.
Yep, me too. Anyways, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're signing off.